Hi, everybody. So, today I kind of wanted to go over French blood and people who have it, and along with myself. So, I knew French ran in the family, in my biological family, ever since I met my biological family. I remember when I had did my updated video on my ancestral DNA results, and I had saw French or France, and I was like, oh my goodness, France! My aunt Eva had told me about that, which she did, and I just recently found out that, excuse me, from my first cousin, one of my first cousins, that we are Creole as well. We're not just Latin, but we're Creole, and that makes so much sense because when I went to New Orleans, like I knew I had family in Louisiana. I knew that somehow there was, we had family, and I assumed it was New Orleans because there was somebody that still even is in contact with me today that is trying to find out if we're related or not because they're in New Orleans, but they were like, "You come from the Creoles in New Orleans," and I said, "I don't know. I just know I have family in Louisiana, but I don't know if I'm Creole. I don't know if I have roots in New Orleans." But so even when I went to New Orleans in March, I wasn't really sure. I just knew I had roots in Louisiana, and I had a feeling I had roots in New Orleans. Um, but I had a very, very, very big connection in New Orleans. I mean, it was just beyond belief. It was home, and I just had a big connection with that place. And I just, I know part of it was because I was excited and I was having fun and it was a great place. But at the same time, I knew that there was some other reason why I was so attracted to the area, and that's because I have roots there. And as you see here, it says 4% French. Now, 4% French, yeah, it's there. It's in the family. I know it is, but that could be more. Like it could be more than 4%, or it could just be 4%. It may even be less than 4%, but right now this says 4%. But I definitely know French is in the family. Now, when I had looked at Germanic Europe, I've never heard of Germany, and I've never heard of German. At least on my mother's side of the family, I've never heard of German blood. I was talking about recently the last video about Swedish roots and how that comes from my father's side most likely because it shows up in all their DNA on people I know that are on my father's biological father's side. Now, I haven't paid too much attention to Germanic Europe. I know I see a lot of Germanic Europe. I can't really tell you right now because I haven't really looked and paid attention to Germanic Europe, but you can see that its mainly emphasis is mainly on Germany, but you also see it covers France, Poland, Denmark, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Croatia. Now, it says primarily located in Germany. The range is 0 to 5%. Now, it gave me 2%. This could still be France. In a way, it could still be France, even though it says Germany. If it's Germany, it most likely comes from my father's side, but this could still be France. So this could still mean that I'm, other than 4% French, I'm 6%. So that makes a lot of sense. Also, because when you go here to 23andMe, and you go down, now you've got British and Irish 8.5%, which is pretty much 9%, and then you've got the places in Ireland that it comes from because it's primarily in Ireland. That makes sense because I am Irish. Scandinavian, you see that we went over that, and then you've got broadly Northwestern European. Broadly Northwestern European, that covers France and all the other places that are in Europe. So, this most likely could be French. At least part of this blood could be French. Either all the 5.8% is French or some of the 5.8 is French. And then they'd either put most likely the rest to Irish or to some other Irish or Scandinavian or some other blood, or keep it all in French. But that some of that is French. Um, so, it makes sense seeing, this because, like I said, I just recently found out that we were Creole, and I've never ever have identified with Creole because I didn't know, and I wasn't sure. So that's really interesting. just to see that, you know what I mean? And I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's just an amazing thing just to know. I've even been thinking about picking up on French because that is part of my language, my family's language. But a lot of my family doesn't speak. My family doesn't speak French. My biological family, we speak Spanish. That's just what we speak, and I don't even speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I don't speak it. I don't speak it the way I used to, because I didn't use it, and because I didn't use it, I lost it. Nobody would speak it to me, and this was before I even knew my biological family. But now, I've gotten better since I've met them a little bit, or I've refreshed my memory a little bit. Not as much as I want to, so I'm gonna have to call my uncle back so that he can speak to me in it, or teach me more. But nobody in my family speaks French. Just speak Spanish. It's because we also, like you guys know, Spanish and Portuguese runs in our family. That comes from the Latin in our family. So, yeah. Please excuse the TV. We always watch investigative stuff on the TV at my grandma's house. So that's what's playing is ID. But yeah. So I'm gonna go more into this bloodline later. I am just interested to find out more on what this really goes into more, just to kind of look at more pictures of people who are French, because I kind of know what French people look like, but at the same time you don't, because French people look very similar to people in Britain because they're so close to each other. But as you get in like when you go to certain places in France, like if you go to South France, people are of a more tan complexion and look a little bit different. So it just depends on where you go. So I just want to go more into this and kind of see where it goes. And I'll be making more videos on this as well. Now we're getting into more of different parts of the world. So I'm excited to see where this goes. All right, guys. Bye.